It started with a golf tournament, a seemingly harmless exhibition, a charity ProAm where tickets went for just $25. But when Caitlin Clark's name was added to the lineup, everything changed. Within hours, event organizers were overwhelmed as ticket demand skyrocketed by an astonishing 1,200%. Suddenly, what was supposed to be a calm day on the fairway turned into a full-blown spectacle. The LPGA had done in one move what the WNBA had failed to do all season: ignite the public's excitement around a women's sporting event. And at the center of it all stood Caitlin Clark, smiling, gracious, yet unknowingly about to challenge the very leadership of the WNBA itself. Because behind that smile, chaos was brewing. Reports began to circulate that the WNBA commissioner had privately told Clark, "We don't allow this." Those words struck a nerve, not just with Caitlin's fans, but with everyone watching the rise of a woman who'd already endured months of vitriol, envy, and unspoken hostility. The idea that the league's biggest star might be punished for attending a golf event felt surreal. But this was no longer just about basketball. It was about control. It was about the fear of one athlete's power growing beyond the league's grasp. Clark's decision to participate in the LPGA's Annika ProAm wasn't rebellion. It was passion. She was paired with the world's #1 golfer, Nelly Korda, and golf icon Annika Sorenstam, playing for charity and women's sports unity. Fans adored it. The golf world welcomed her with open arms, calling it a perfect crossover moment for women's athletics. But the WNBA didn't see inspiration. They saw disruption. A player daring to take her image beyond their brand's borders. A player who didn't ask for permission to shine. Behind closed doors, tension escalated. League officials reportedly debated what to do about Clark's growing influence. According to insiders, the commissioner saw her participation as a threat, a move that might make the league look like it wasn't in control of its own star. But Clark's coach, Stephanie White, had seen enough. "You can't stop her," she said, a simple sentence that shattered the silence. For the first time, a WNBA head coach publicly stood up to the league's highest authority in defense of her player. It was unprecedented, a quiet act of rebellion wrapped in loyalty. Rumors spread that the commissioner threatened sanctions against Caitlin for violating promotional guidelines. Imagine that. The same player who had almost single-handedly revitalized ticket sales, boosted ratings, and expanded the league's reach, now being threatened with punishment for playing golf. Fans were outraged. Social media erupted in disbelief. "Why would you stop your biggest star from promoting women's sports?" they asked. Even team owners reportedly began questioning the decision behind the scenes. Caitlin's response, however, wasn't a rant or a meltdown. It was a smile and a simple statement that hit harder than any dunk or buzzer beater. "No one can stop me from competing. I love this game. All of them." That one line became a rallying cry. It wasn't just about golf, it was about freedom. The freedom to grow, to inspire, to represent something larger than a logo. Stephanie White doubled down, publicly supporting her player's right to define her own path. Meanwhile, the commissioner stayed silent. No statements, no interviews. Just the sound of criticism growing louder every day. Then came the backlash from within. WNBA players and commentators began voicing a truth that had been simmering all season, that there was an internal hesitancy to praise Caitlin Clark. They didn't want to give her too much credit, too much media coverage, too much space to outshine others. It was a delicate balancing act, one that turned into a PR disaster. They were trying so hard to keep everyone happy that they ended up alienating the one player who was actually changing the game. The irony? While the WNBA was busy hesitating, the LPGA was thriving off Caitlin's presence. They televised her event after fans flooded their inboxes asking how they could watch her play. Social media lit up. She was trending nationwide. The LPGA's marketing team capitalized brilliantly, pairing her with Nelly Korda, the sport's top-ranked golfer, ensuring that every photo, every clip, every handshake would make headlines. They understood what the WNBA didn't. Caitlin Clark wasn't just an athlete. She was a cultural movement. Even Nelly Korda couldn't help but praise her. "She's been incredible," she said. "So cool, so smooth. Just really good at what she does." Clark, ever humble, shrugged it off, saying, "I'm not a golfer. I'm just here to have fun." But even in that moment of modesty, it was clear she wasn't just there to play. She was there to prove that women's sports could coexist, collaborate, and thrive together, something the WNBA seemed terrified to embrace. As the dust settled, fans and media began to ask the uncomfortable questions. Why was the league so quick to limit her when she was the reason they were trending? Why discourage growth when that very growth could elevate everyone? Caitlyn's supporters rallied behind her. The hashtag #MereLetCaitlynPlay started trending. Commentators from the NBA, LPGA, and even former WNBA players chimed in, criticizing the hypocrisy. How could a league preaching empowerment be the same one clipping its brightest star's wings? The story hit its peak when Clark was asked whether she would continue playing in outside events despite the tension. Her answer was calm but defiant. "I'll perform wherever I can motivate others. I can't be stopped." It was a message to the league, to her critics, and to anyone watching. She wasn't going to be controlled. The LPGA's leadership immediately backed her, publicly celebrating her involvement and praising her influence. The contrast between the two leagues couldn't have been more glaring. The WNBA's image took another hit. Their biggest star was being celebrated by another sport while being restricted by her own. Fans began calling for accountability, demanding the commissioner step down or at least explain her reasoning. Commentators described the situation as a crisis of leadership. What should have been a unifying moment for women's sports turned into a symbol of how internal politics can sabotage progress. And yet, through it all, Caitlin Clark stayed composed. No outbursts. No public blame. Just quiet strength and the kind that unnerves people in power. Her silence spoke volumes. It wasn't just resistance. It was strategy. She was proving that she didn't need permission to inspire millions. Every time the league tried to contain her, she only grew bigger. This wasn't just a controversy, it was a reckoning. A reminder that women's sports can't grow if they're led by fear. The LPGA saw the opportunity and seized it. The WNBA hesitated and lost it. And now, as the spotlight shines brighter than ever, the question isn't whether Caitlin Clark will keep breaking barriers. It's whether the league will ever catch up with her. So what do you think? Should Caitlin Clark have the right to build her brand freely, even if that means stepping outside the WNBA's control? Should the commissioner be held accountable for trying to stop her? Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you stand with Caitlin and believe in athletes having the freedom to inspire across every arena, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Because this story isn't just about basketball or golf, it's about power, progress, and one woman's fight to play on her own terms.